Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. I'm Lakwe Banjo. President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday met behind closed doors with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa at the presidential villa in Abuja. The meeting started at about 3 p.m. after Ramaphosa arrived the forecourt of the State House in Abuja. Both men held a meeting and addressed the media afterwards.
So I want to dispel this notion that when a Nigerian loses his or her life in South Africa, it is as a result of an intentional sort of action by South Africans against Nigerians. That is simply not true. You will know that South Africa has a number of challenges. One of the challenges is criminality, and which is all pervasive.
Our industries are just coming up. So in trying to guarantee employment and goods and services to our country, we have to be careful with agreements that will compete, maybe successfully, against our own upcoming industries. I was presented with the document. I will soon sign.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, on Wednesday said it was wrong to say that the federal government has not spoken out on the alleged certificate forgery involving the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun. Mohammed spoke with State House correspondents at the end of the weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council at the presidential villa.
The government has spoken. NYC is part of government, and I have nothing to add to what the NYC has said.
The reformed All Progressives Congress has asked the Independent National Electoral Commission to nullify the National Convention of the All Progressive Congress held on June the 23rd, 2018. The Adams Oshiomhole-led National Working Committee of the APC was elected at the said convention. R-APC's request was contained in a letter dated 4th of July, which was signed by its national chairman, Alhaji Buba Galadima, and addressed to the national chairman of INEC. In the letter, Galadima said he was writing the letter as a foundation member of the APC, a member of its board of trustees, national caucus, and an automatic delegate at its national convention. He drew the attention of the INEC to what he said was a purported convention held by APC on 23rd of June 2018. He said the convention was flawed and undemocratic and that it followed disputed congresses held at various wards, local governments and states. At least 42 people, mostly women and children, are said to have been killed across 12 villages in the Lao local government area of Tarawa State. Local residents told our correspondent on Wednesday. Mr. Dauda Marafa, who hails from the area, said armed militiamen suspected to be Fulani herdsmen on Sunday invaded communities in the local government area, killing anybody in sight. Marafa lamented the failure of security agencies to deploy their men in the area, saying the casualty figure might rise as attacks were still ongoing. The state chairman of Nigerian Union of Teachers, Peter Julius, who also hails from the area, said 19 of those killed were from 5 neighboring villages. He called on the federal government to urgently draft security men to the area to stop the attacks from spreading. Today, July 11th, is World Population Day. In this report, our correspondent Felicity Ezewike highlights the need for more action to address growing population issues.
January 2018, approximately 20,210 babies were born in Nigeria, making the country the 3rd country with the highest number of newborn on the first day of the year, and this is after India and China. Currently, Nigeria's population represents 2.35% of the world population, and a UN projection for 2050 puts it that Nigeria will be the country with the 3rd highest number of people living in the world. The country, as it stands, is still grappling with the trouble of establishing a defined national population policy to help address the escalating population challenges. World Population Day, commemorated on July 11, draws attention to the ever-pressing issue of population. And topping the chart is family planning, which was captured on this year's theme, Family Planning is a Human Right. How many Nigerians know this?
Family planning should be a normal human right. Every woman should be able to decide the number of children, the number of children they want in a family, because it's going to help. It helps the woman to regain emotionally, psychologically. It also helps economically.
The number of population really affects the economy. As you see it, people have many children and they cannot cater for them. Right now, you can see many hoodlums along the street.
I want to believe that family planning should be a choice and not a right.
When you give birth to the rate of what you cannot even take care of it, the child will be on a riot person or liability person in the pictures, and it will affect the family.
If Nigeria as a country can have family planning right now, it will go a long way.
We also spoke to an organization that has been providing family planning options to Nigerians for years.
You see so many people who have a problem eating 3 square meals a day. And Brooklyn's report finally puts numbers to it and makes us come face to face with the situation on ground. And the situation on ground is that we are reproducing faster than our economy can cater for us. We are on a collision course with our own fate if we do not make it a point of duty for everyone to grow up knowing about contraceptives, to be free to use it with or without even spousal consent or any sentiment, to even have, if possible, religious support.
Population issues will remain with us for a very long time. But with the right attitude and proper family planning, as our respondents have agreed, a lot can be achieved. Let's play our role, spread the message that family planning is a human right. My name is Felicity Ezewike, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
The Democratic Republic of Congo on Wednesday accused Ugandan forces of shooting dead 12 Congolese fishermen last week on a lake straddling their shared border, something Uganda's army has denied. One Ugandan soldier was killed when the country's navies clashed on Lake Edward. Oil exploration near the lake has raised the stakes along the border, with each side periodically accusing the other of encroaching on its territory. Landlocked Ethiopia wants to make the reopening of 2 roads connecting it to 2 of Eritrea's Red Sea ports a priority in the 2 nations' reconciliation process. A government spokesman said this on Wednesday. In a move that ended a 20-year military standoff, the Horn of African neighbors agreed on Monday to open embassies, develop ports and resume flights. The historic reconciliation could transform politics and security in the volatile Horn region, which lies along one of the world's busiest shipping routes. The Ethiopian government spokesman Ahmed Shide said on Wednesday that the reopening of 2 critical roads leading to the ports of Assab in Eritrea's south and Massawa in the north would benefit the whole region. Zimbabwe's main opposition party marched to the Independent Election Agency for the 2nd time in as many months on Wednesday, demanding reforms it said were vital for a credible vote this month. Zimbabwe will choose a new president and members of parliament on July 30th, in the first election since Robert Mugabe was forced to resign after a de facto army coup last year. The election will pit Mugabe's successor Emerson Mnangagwa as his ZANU-PF party against challengers led by Nelson Chamisa on the Movement for Democratic Change. Thousands of MDC supporters in the party's red colours and holding placards that read "No reforms, no elections" and "No to vote rigging" marched to the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission in Harare, where MDC leaders are expected to hand in a petition with their demands. The government of Cameroon has opened an investigation into the authenticity of a video circulating on social media platforms, which shows armed men, presumed Cameroonian soldiers, executing 2 women and their children, accused of being accomplices of the Nigerian jihadist group Boko Haram. In the video published Tuesday and seen thousands of times on social networks, we see men wearing military uniforms similar to those of some units of the Cameroonian army, executing 2 women and their children on their knees. And when we return, we'll be bringing you updates on the NATO summit and more. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. NATO leaders plan to turn their attentions to the conflict in Afghanistan on the second day of a summit so far dominated by demands from President Donald Trump. Mr. Trump urged NATO allies to commit 4% of their annual output to military spending. He also singled out Germany for criticism over its defense spending. NATO leaders are hoping for a more conciliatory tone on Thursday before Mr. Trump leaves for the UK. In early morning tweets from Brussels, the US president resumed his criticism. Israeli forces attacked Syrian military positions near the Golan Heights frontier in the early hours of Thursday, causing limited damage, Syrian state media has reported. The Israeli military said in a statement that it hit 3 targets in retaliation for an incursion on Wednesday of a Syrian drone which was shot down over northern Israel. The IDF holds the Syrian regime accountable for the actions carried out in its territory and warns it from further action against Israeli forces. The Israeli statement has said Israeli-issued black and white surveillance footage showed missiles hitting what appeared to be a hut, a 2-story structure and a 5-story structure amid hilly terrain. Adult film actress Stormy Daniels speaks outside U.S. federal court in New York with her lawyer Michael Avenatti. In April, adult film star Stormy Daniels locked in a battle with President Donald Trump over the alleged affair, was arrested Wednesday while performing at a strip club in what her lawyer described as a politically motivated setup. Daniels was arrested at a club in Columbus, Ohio, while performing an act she has done at nearly 100 strip clubs across America, Michael Avenatti wrote on Twitter. He said Daniels was arrested for allegedly allowing a customer to touch her in a non-sexual way whilst on stage. We'll take the business report shortly after this break. The Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari on Wednesday signed the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit Bill into law. According to Senator Ita Enang, Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, he said the act establishes the NFIU as a central body in Nigeria responsible for receiving, requesting, analyzing and disseminating financial intelligence to agencies and other relevant authorities to enable the institutions act on the same. He also made clear that the agency is an independent and operationally autonomous institution domiciled in the Central Bank of Nigeria. NFIU is the Nigerian arm of the Global Financial Intelligence Unit, which was previously within the EFCC. The signing of the bill, however, comes after Egmont suspended Nigeria last year due to failure to separate the NFIU from EFCC. On the activities from the Nigerian Stock Exchange yesterday, our correspondent Irene Ubani brings us up to date.
The Nigerian stock market closed on a downward trend today as the all-share index dropped by 0.45% to close at 37,253.25. Leading the list of top gainers was Mobil, which gained 15 naira 5 kobo, Fort Oil 1 naira 45 kobo, Nigerian Breweries 1 naira, Custodian 57 kobo, and UACN 35 kobo. On the list of top losers in the stock market were Julius Berger, which shed 3 naira, International Breweries 2 naira 65 kobo, Dangote Cement 2 naira, Wapco 1 naira 85 kobo, and Flour Mill 25 kobo. The top trades were Access, Zenith Bank, Transcorp, Guarantee, and First Bank Nigeria Holdings. Equity capitalization closed at 13.495 trillion naira, while the deals came to a total of 3,526. On the fluctuation of the stock market in the past week, Plus TV Africa spoke with Chinyeyem Anyanwu, the Managing Director, Dependable Securities Limited.
Well, number one is the way of all stock markets. They go up and down. It has a mechanism to correct itself. When the prices are not what it ought to be, the mechanism corrects it. It's called by forces of demand and supply. And
on the general public's response to shares purchase, he said,
people that are risk averse, of course, will do what you call self-investment, the debt instruments of this world, because there's a fixed return on it, and there is no chance for fluctuation that we usually have in the stock market. But if you're the kind of person that is not risk averse, the stock market is a place to go, because it can give you what those debt instruments cannot give you in a year. It can give it to you in 2 days.
He also spoke on the effect of government policies on the stock market.
The government policies influence sectors. Where they look into, that place receives a boost. You know, government is still the largest spender, the biggest spender. Apart from what they spend, their pronouncements in form of policy affect sectors positively, negatively. So their policy matters to us.
I am Irene Ubani, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
Still ahead on Plus TV News is our roundup on sports and entertainment news. We'll be back in a moment.
In entertainment, following the death of Florida rapper Xxx Tentacion last month, a second man, Michael Boatwright, has been charged with first-degree murder in connection to the murder. It will be recalled that shortly after Xxx Tentacion's murder, a first suspect, Daedric Williams, a 22-year-old man, was charged with first-degree murder in connection with the rapper's death. Michael Boatwright was arrested on drug charges for possession of cannabis, possession of cocaine with intent to sell, amongst other charges. On Tuesday, Michael Boatwright was served with an arrest warrant with regards to the rapper's death, though he was already in custody at the time. Xxx Tentacion was leaving a motorsport dealership on the 18th of June when he was shot by masked men in an apparent robbery. American singer Sean Combs, popularly known as Diddy, was featured on the latest issue of Variety magazine. During his interview, he spoke about a variety of issues such as the lack of black executives in top-level positions and how the Me Too movement relates to Black America. The music mogul said that as far as the Me Too movement is concerned, he doesn't think anyone should feel they're being abused or being taken advantage of when all they're trying to do is create a livelihood for themselves, as injustice is going on everywhere and the same level of attention and vigor that people have about the Me Too movement should be channeled into the way Black Americans have been treated as well. Diddy also went on to speak on hip-hop's commercial dominance, especially through streaming. Nigerian singer Ayodeji Ibrahim Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, was seen partying with Drake during the celebration of Scorpion's album. The singer, who is currently in London, partied with Drake at London's Annabelle Club to celebrate the chart-topping album. Jessica Biel, Justin Timberlake, Liam Payne, and more were at the party. The rapper's album made history by reaching 1 billion streams in 1 week. And that's it on entertainment, the very best in sports, right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko with the biggest stories in the world of sports. And starting off on the home front, Nigerian badminton teams comprising of 7 males and 3 females are in Accra, Ghana, with 2 coaches to participate at the Ghana International Series with a $10,000 prize money. And the tournament kicks off today and has 104 international players from 19 countries around the globe converging in Ghana. And the finals and closing ceremony of the tournament holds on Sunday, the 15th of July. The Ghana International competition will feature both men's singles, female singles, men's doubles, and females doubles, as well as mixed doubles events. And the President's Badminton Federation of Nigeria, Francis Obi, advised that the players play according to the rules and also to exhibit a high sense of discipline and maturity. And going over to the World Cup, England's hopes of making it to a first World Cup final since 1966 came to a painful end as they lost in extra time to Croatia in Moscow. And Juventus striker Mario Mandzukic scored the winning goal in the 109th minute of the semi-final, slotting in from Ivan Perishic's flick on into the area. Croatia will go on to face France in the final in Moscow on Sunday, while England will play Belgium in Saturday's third and fourth place playoff in St. Petersburg. And in tennis, talking about Wimbledon, defending champion Roger Federer is out of Wimbledon after 8th seed Kevin Anderson fought back from 2 sets down in a gripping quarterfinal that lasted 4 hours and 13 minutes. In the top seed, Roger Federer, who was aiming for a record equaling 9th singles title, missed the match point in the third set, and the 2017 US Open finalist plays John Isner, who beat Milos Raonic in the first SW19 semifinal for both men. An 8-time champion, Federer has already won more Wimbledon singles titles than any other man, but was aiming to equal Martina Navratilova's all-time record. And that's it on Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko.
Thanks, Udoka. And that's our news roundup of events. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us. I'm Lapi Banja. Have a great day.